Good day, and welcome back to another one of these. My name is Jackson, and today we're going to be talking about a time bomb that is sitting underneath the parquet floors in TD Garden. The Celtics have an oncoming train coming straight for them, and they're tight on that tracks. And no one seems to really be talking about it because people are obviously a little bit distracted at the moment with everything going on in the world. But there is definitely a very concerning force coming for the Celtics, and that's in the way of they have so many contracts and they have fairly big names coming up that they'll need to extend, and I don't know what they're going to do, because next season Jaylen Brown, his extension will kick in. Then you got Tatum's obvious max deal. I'm pretty certain he's going to be making all of it, all $192 million of it, wouldn't mind. Then you got Kemba Walker, who's already basically on a max contract. And then you've got Marcus Smart, who is the big guy that is coming up for free agency in about 2 years. And he's someone that they're going to need to pay because he's going to expect to be paid. Because whilst Tatum, Brown, even Kemba, they are probably the more well-known players, the more flashy players, the guys that get the score up and all that type of stuff. Marcus Smart is the lifeblood of this team. If you get rid of that bastard, this team is going to... Okay, suck's probably a bit of a stretch, but you get rid of that bloke and this team's going to have basically no identity. I mean, whilst Tatum and Brown are great players, they've got borderline no personality, whilst Marcus Smart has enough personality to fill a whole 5-man starting rotation. But I don't know what they're going to do when it comes to who they're going to pay, how much they're going to be able to pay, how much will Marcus Smart expect, because I'm guessing he's going to expect a fair amount considering that he has Defensive Player of the Year candidacy under his belt. I mean, Kemba Walker is obviously the odd man out here who I think they should move away from if they have to, because he just doesn't fit the timeline and all that type of stuff. But then you sort of also need to have these veterans that play a solid role on the team. And then with losing Hayward, I mean, obviously the Celtics weren't going to match Hayward's deal. I mean, the deal was basically the Charlotte deal. And by that, I mean the small market teams have to pay more to get big name free agents to come to their city, even to get mid-level free agents to come to their cities, because obviously they're going to want to go to these bigger markets so that they can make more money outside of the game. But that's neither here nor there. But this Celtics team just has a lot of issues, and another one that I think a lot of people sort of glance over is that people don't trust Danny Ainge anymore. And by people, I mean players. Because obviously a lot of people trust Danny Ainge when it comes to an organizational viewpoint because of this reputation that he's built. And I think that he's built this reputation quite, falsely. Is that the right terminology? The bloke had one good decision, and that was the Brooklyn Nets trade. And he is rode on that wave for so bloody long. And the rest of his decisions, they're not that great. I mean, drafting Romeo Langford, the bloke hasn't really done anything. I mean, Tatum was obviously you can't tell me that, he drafted Tatum, he's so smart. Tatum should have gone 1. Like, easily should have gone 1. But that's another different conversation. But the big thing with Danny Ainge is that the way he handled the Isaiah Thomas situation was so bad that a lot of players, and this is from what I've heard through other podcasts I've listened to, things I've read, you sort of get it from here and there, the players don't have any respect for Danny Ainge after what he did to Isaiah Thomas. And for those of you who don't know, Isaiah Thomas had a absolute cracking season for the Celtics, was an MVP candidate, went into the playoffs and was injured. He got, I believe it was a hip injury. He continued to play through it, most likely making the injury a lot worse, which is why he's taken so long to get back to form. Hopefully he's back to form this year because, to be fair, every athlete tells you that I'm fully healthy. But we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But He then lost his sister tragically, and there was scenes of him being visibly weeping, basically on the sidelines during a shoot around before a playoff game. And he still went out there and he still played, and he still played well, or well enough considering he was injured. And then basically, as soon as that series was over and free agency started, he was shipped off to Cleveland for Kyrie Irving. And I know that that left a sour taste in a lot of fans' mouths, and I can't even begin to imagine what kind of taste it left in players' mouths who definitely can visualize themselves in that situation. So I think that it's made Boston, whilst it's an amazing city and one of the most richest sporting heritage places on the planet, it's made the Celtics a less desirable location to play for. And you can wave me off, tell me I'm a fucking idiot or whatever you want, but I think that reputation and respect are very important, especially when you're out there playing your complete heart out and it's all about passion. You sort of want everyone around you to have the same type of passion for you as an individual, as well as for the team. So that's definitely why I think a lot of players are sort of shying away from signing with the Celtics. It's why I think that they have very quiet off seasons the past couple of years, outside of signing Hayward. But I think that signing was more due to Brad Stevens being the coach more than Danny Ainge being a smart executive. But the other big thing is the center rotation is weird. And I don't think that they're going to be able to have a good center probably for the span of this Tatum-Brown tandem, because all their money is going to be sitting on the wings, and I'm guessing they're going to want to get a good point guard because that's the smart thing to do, that their center position is going to be super weak. And they did have potential to sign is probably not the right word, to trade for Miles Turner. And that was the move that a lot of people were pointing towards. I also think that would have been a bad move because Miles Turner is just not a center you want to be paying the size of the contract that he has. And I mean, they're spending less money on Tyce Thompson and I believe it's Robert Williams than they would be paying for Miles Turner by himself. So this center position is definitely going to be a continued issue for the Celtics, considering where their core is all stationed. So we're going to have to wait and see to see if they're going to be able to fill in those sort of cracks in the armor that they have. But I definitely think that this Boston Celtics team needs to take a step back, look inward, and definitely figure out what they're doing. And if they can make a move from Danny Ainge, I understand that he probably is a bit of a fan favorite considering the reputation that he's built, but I just think it's time for new blood. I mean, I think it's time for new blood in the NBA in general. I think that they should try to be getting a little bit younger, a little bit smarter, a little bit more dynamic than a few of these executives are. But I understand that it is a business and it's being run by billionaires in suits. So it's just one of those things that we're going to have to wait and see. But I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you disagree or agree with me on this. Don't get me wrong, I love the Celtics. I love all Boston sports. But this has just been something that's been on my mind while I've been keeping up with free agency and all the signings. But yeah, leave a comment if you think you disagree with me and let me know why you think you disagree with me. Leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.